Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another one of the move updates from Season 12 of Go Battle League, Fairy Wind Shadow Mawile. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Prior to Fairy Wind, Mawile typically ran Fire Fang, which is a high damage fast move, but doesn't generate a lot of energy. So with Fairy Wind, a very quick energy generating move, it plays a lot differently. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Fairy Wind Shadow Mawile in action in the Great League. Great lead in the first match, Shadow Mawile into Altaria, and the Altaria is staying in, which may mean that the opponent is weak to Mawile somewhere in the back as well. Altaria fires off the Sky Attack, Shadow Mawile takes it like it's nothing, and is going to fire back with the Play Rough. Play Rough would do massive damage if it lands. Altaria forced to commit the shield. Mawile continuing to farm up, and Altaria is able to reach a second Sky Attack. Mawile is going to commit the shield, again looking to overfarm and fire off the Play Rough. Altaria lets it go, and they get taken out. In the back is Registeel, immediate save switch into Trevenant, and in the back they have Scrafty, so it makes sense why they stayed in with Altaria, because they are very, very weak to fairy types with this team. Trevenant does have enough for a Seed Bomb, but elects to overfarm. Shields up, does correctly shield the foul play, and is very close to 2 more Seed Bombs here. Firing off the first, Seed Bomb does get the shield from the Scrafty, and will be able to win CMP on the next foul play. Very precise counting. That's going to get the Scrafty exceedingly low. And from here, if this takes out Trevenant, that's totally fine, because you can Fairy Wind down with the Mawile, go for the Play Rough into the Registeel, and that should put it into Earthquake range for Diggersby. In comes Diggersby, and there's just nothing this Registeel can do. Registeel fires off the Focus Blast. XL Diggersby tanks it like a champion, reaches the Earthquake. Earthquake will be taking out the Registeel, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a very tough lead, Shadow Mawile into Tentacruel. Immediate save switch into Trevenant, but this is still a pretty awkward matchup, because Tentacruel can fire off Acid Spray, get that guaranteed 2-stage debuff, and just commit to the farm down. Trevenant does have a lot of energy though, farming up to the back-to-back Seed Bombs, hoping to try and grab a shield. Seed Bomb does get a shield from Tentacruel. Trevenant able to hang on and reach the Shadow Ball. Does the opponent want to give up both shields? Yes, they do. So unfortunately, he's lost switch advantage, but the nice thing is that the opponent has no shields remaining. Tentacruel does now have access to Scald, and Scald is going to do a lot of damage to Diggersby. Tentacruel is going to be able to outpace and reach a Scald. Diggersby is going to be committing the shield, as Scald would be doing a lot of damage. Diggersby can pretty safely overfarm here, fire off the Earthquake. Earthquake will take out the Tentacruel. The question is, what do they have in the back? They have a Medicham, and they have Swampert. With an energy lead, Shadow Mawile can do a lot of damage here. Going for the Play Rough. Play Rough, massive damage, nearly taking out the Swampert. Mawile, smelling blood in the water, shields up the Hydro Cannon, able to Fairy Wind down, and should be able to reach the Play Rough versus the Medicham. Mawile has never been so spammy. Play Rough will be taking care of the Medicham, and Mawile clutches up a win. Hopping into the next match, leading Shadow Mawile into Shadow Swampert, and this is a problem. Both Mawile and Diggersby struggle quite a bit against Swampert, so catching it on the lead, definitely not a fun time. Mawile is able to win CMP, going straight for the Play Rough, but Shadow Swampert respects it with a shield. I think at this point, you kind of have to do exactly what he's doing. Just completely sacrifice the Mawile, use the Trevenant to get rid of the Swampert, and then hope that Diggersby is going to be able to sweep in the endgame. Swampert fires off the Hydro Cannon, that does quite a bit of damage. Trevenant overfarms and is going to fire off the Seed Bomb. This will be taking care of the Swampert. No, Swampert actually decides to commit the shield. So things looking a little scary here if the opponent decides to switch out. They are staying in with the Swampert, and thankfully, Trevenant will be able to take down the Swampert. So at the very least, Swampert's out of the way. Hopefully that means Diggersby can close. They have Trevenant in the back. In comes Diggersby, but it's a Medicham waiting for the Diggersby in the back. And this is looking quite rough. Diggersby fires off the Earthquake. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. XL Diggersby can absorb the counter damage very, very well, but even so, taking this many counters, Diggersby is still going to struggle. Diggersby goes for the Earthquake, but ends up losing CMP and is forced to burn the final shield. That is quite unfortunate because this Diggersby has very low HP remaining, which means that odds are they're just going to die to a single Seed Bomb here. Goes for the catch onto his own Trevenant, but at this point, even that cannot save him because their Trevenant can survive a Fire Punch, while he's not going to be able to survive the Seed Bomb. Fire Punch does get the Trevenant low, but Trevenant is able to reach the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will take out the Diggersby, and unfortunately, he loses the game. Great lead in the next match, Shadow Mawile into Galarian Weezing. Opponent is going to save switch into a Swampert, which of course is going to be met with Trevenant. Trevenant has a dominating matchup here, firing off the Seed Bomb, and the opponent actually decides to commit the shield. But if Swampert wants to make a play for switch advantage, they're going to have to give up both shields because a Sludge Wave is not enough to KO. Trevenant reaches a second Seed Bomb. Does Swampert give up the final shield? They do not. And Trevenant is able to win switch advantage and shield advantage. Opponent is going to bring in Galarian Weezing, going for an aggressive Fairy Wind farm down, but Trevenant is not done yet. Able to reach a last second Shadow Ball. That gets a shield, and now the opponent has no shields remaining. In comes Diggersby to absorb the damage. Diggersby is actually going to shield up. Weezing goes for the Play Rough. In the back, they have Shadow Drapion, and unfortunately for the opponent, Shadow Drapion is going to be absolutely destroyed by Diggersby. And once the Drapion is gone, then Shadow Mawile will be able to absolutely crush Galarian Weezing. In comes Mawile. Mawile does need to respect the overheat, and that proves to be a good shield as the opponent went straight for the overheat. Mawile reaches the Iron Head. Iron Head will easily take down the Weezing and clutch the win. Hopping into the next match, leading Shadow Mawile into Shadow Granbull. Despite the typing advantage, Granbull can win this in the 2-shield. Opponent is going to save switch into Shadow Swampert, and these Swampert save switches are not having a good day. Trevenant is going to let this through. Hydro Cannon will do quite a bit of damage, but Trevenant is going to fire back with a Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb does get the shield. Shadow Swampert looking to make a play for switch advantage, but like the previous game, they're going to have to give up both shields to do it. Seed Bomb does get shielded. At this point, do you just let this go? It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to let it go. Bring in Mawile. Mawile's going to fire off the Iron Head. It's resisted, but at this health range, it should be enough to KO. And then, if they bring back in the Granbull, Granbull is going to get absolutely vaporized by an Iron Head. Iron Head takes out the Granbull, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match, Mawile into Altaria. Opponent will immediately save switch into a Lantern, which is going to be met with Trevenant. A lot of water save switches, and Trevenant is absolutely feasting. Seed Bomb will do a solid chunk of damage, but Lantern is quite tanky. Lantern able to absorb the damage. Lantern fires off the Thunderbolts. That actually does a significant amount of damage to Trevenant. Trevenant is going to fire off the Seed Bomb. Does the opponent decide to make a play for switch? They do not. They're going to let it go and instead get farm on Altaria. Altaria goes for the farm down, but Trevenant able to reach a last second Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball will do quite a lot of damage to the Altaria, and back in comes the Mawile. Altaria is going to fire off a move. Sky Attack, not going to be doing a whole lot. And in the back, it is Swampert, and this is incredibly bad. The opponent's ABB team worked to perfection, baited out the Trevenant, and now Diggersby is in a lot of trouble. Diggersby can tank one Hydro Cannon, but a second one will be fatal, and Swampert is just extremely spammy. Swampert fires off a second Hydro Cannon. Diggersby commits the shield and is going for the bait. This is basically the game here. Can Diggersby grab a shield with a Fire Punch? It cannot! Swampert calls the bait, and that unfortunately should be game over because Swampert, with a shield remaining, is going to be able to shield up this Earthquake, outpace the Diggersby, and then fire off a Hydro Cannon to take out the Mawile. They do reach that Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will take out the Diggersby, and then unfortunately Mawile is not going to be able to reach a move. Opponent plays this game to perfection, and that is a good game. The good leads continue in the next match, Shadow Mawile into Sableye. Mawile is a hard wall for Sableye's charge moves, able to resist both foul play and return. Mawile builds up to the play rough, baiting with the Iron Head, expecting the shield, but the opponent actually calls it, and that is not good. Mawile's gonna let it go. Foul play will do quite a bit of damage. Fairy Wind is able to farm down. That is huge. In comes Bastiodon and an immediate save switch into Trevenant, predicting that Mawile may potentially be needed in the endgame. Trevenant fires off the Shadow Ball. Bastiodon, extremely tanky, but the Shadow Claw Shadow Ball combination is really going to start to add up. Trevenant does need to respect the Flamethrower here, commits the shield, and is going to bait with the Seed Bomb, hoping to try and grab a shield from the Bastiodon. Seed Bomb does grab a shield. That's huge. Trevenant deciding to bait again, going for another Seed Bomb. This will not KO if it lands. Bastiodon gives up the final shield and an aggressive switch into Mawile. Mawile, Iron Head hits for neutral here. Barely not enough to KO. Bastiodon able to farm down. At this point, do you just bring in Diggersby? Brings in Trevenant, and it's a Azumarill in the back. Trevenant is going to be firing off the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will do a solid chunk of damage, and now it's all up to Diggersby to close out this match. Diggersby should very comfortably be able to reach an Earthquake. Earthquake will not be enough to KO Azu from this range, but thanks to Diggersby having a shield, Diggersby is going to be able to protect itself from the Hydro Pump and is in a very good spot to finish off the match. Earthquake will get the Azu low. Diggersby is going to be able to outpace the Azumarill. Hydro Pump, definitely not the cheapest charge move. Takes down the Bastiodon, and that is a good game. Hopping into the final match, leading Shadow Mawile into another Swampert. We've seen this play out before. This is a very tough lead. Swampert is going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. Mawile should barely be able to live a Hydro Cannon, and it's firing back with the Play Rough. Play Rough would do a lot of damage if it lands, which it does, and in the Zero Shield, it's a simultaneous KO. Now it's a guessing game, waiting until the last possible second. Brings in the Trevenant, but the opponent brings in Nidoqueen. That is quite unfortunate, as ideally, he would definitely prefer to have this aligned against the Diggersby. No baiting here. Trevenant going straight for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does get the shield from Nidoqueen. In comes Diggersby. In the back, the opponent has Shadow Machamp, and things are looking quite scary. Diggersby goes for the bait. Fire Punch gets the shield from Machamp, and that is a massive bait. Diggersby not far off of the Earthquake. Diggersby farming up, able to reach the Earthquake. This will be taking care of the Shadow Machamp. They still have the Nidoqueen left alive in the back, but Diggersby with a shield may be too much for this Nidoqueen. Diggersby calling it, letting it go. It's just a Poison Fang. What a read. And that will be game over. Diggersby can shield up Nidoqueen's move. It's a CMP tie. This Earthquake will be taking care of the Nidoqueen. And that is a good game. All in all, some incredibly cool battles featuring Fairy Wind Shadow Mawile. One thing I love about this move update is it allows Mawile to be played in an entirely different way. Previously, with Fire Fang and Power Up Punch, it was very fast move oriented where you were just trying to buff up your fast moves as much as possible, commit both shields, and just try and power through the opposition. Whereas with Fairy Wind, it allows it to be a lot more dynamic of a Pokemon, a lot more charge move focused, and in my view, a lot more fun to play. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.